Hello there, I'm Adam from WhatCulture.com and welcome to How WWE Should Book, where I take an angle from now to the future, book it, then challenge WWE to do it better, because I'm a smartass. Ooh. So this week, alright, I'm gonna do it. I'll do the fucking brand split. Shut up, you bastards! Seriously though, thanks everyone for writing in. Your feedback is important. So the brand split, back in May, WWE announced that SmackDown will be going live on July 19th. And not only that, it would have an entirely separate roster. That's right, we're returning to the brand extension. And with it, the WWE draft, which gave us such little gems as John Cena being drafted twice on one night. And Triple H being traded for the Dudleys and Booker T because he's worth 3 people. I'm the king of kings. Why am I British? I'm the Triple H. I'm the king. I've got a hammer. So the brand split in the draft will happen officially on July 19th. And Battleground will be the last big shared B-show pay-per-view, you know, one that's not the big 4. SummerSlam will be shared, and then we go into 2 pay-per-views a month. Motherfuckers! Can someone say too much content? We're going to now give you 10 videos about why that's too much content and ignore all the irony inherent in that. So, how should it be done? What are the ground rules for this brand split? What about SummerSlam? Here's what I think they should do. WWE, do it better. So what are the governing principles behind how you should do the brand split? Well, you can't just carve the roster right down the middle, okay? Because, you know, you've got 3 hours and 2 hours. You've got longest running cable show and whatever, and then you've got SmackDown. So if you do that, if you treat both shows as if they're offering the same sort of entertainment, then this will just automatically feel like the B show, and all the people consigned to it will feel like B players. No, you have to know what each show will feel like and what it's offering to the audience, what audience it's going after, because that's the only way you make both of them must-see TV. Again, I cannot stress it enough. The worst thing that WWE could do is just arbitrarily split the roster, moving them to like either sides of a gym, like some sort of PE teacher that's been doing the job for 20 years, and he just sees these children come and go, and they stay young, and he's just growing older and older. He looks down at his hands and he sees wrinkles that he's never seen before, and their youth just tortures him, and he eventually just loses the will to live. He realizes that this is all you've got. This little fistful of years, this is all the time in the world, and you're wasting it. You're wasting your entire life. So Jimmy, just for God's sake, pass me my special flask. Coach needs his medicine. Well, that went places. So here's my pitch. On Raw, you have the new era. On SmackDown, you have superstar power. On Raw, you have the young guys, the guys who can go the distance, endurance guys who can build these amazing matches, fill 3 hours, the guys with the in-ring cred that the fans have grown to love and respect. You've got Zayn, Kevin Owens, Finn, Nakamura eventually, Hideo Itami eventually. You've got Apollo Crews. You've got all these guys that are, you know, you've been told these guys are the future. Well, if you make Raw, put Raw on their shoulders, you are saying the future is now. Yeah, I mean, that's the NXT motto, and you're not turning Raw into just NXT, but you give it that tone that we are trusting these guys. And not just those guys, you throw in Seth, you throw in Dean, you throw in Cesaro, the Wyatts, these guys who have been fingertips away from becoming breakout stars, but because there is this upper ceiling of like superstars like John Cena above them, they've never quite been able to, you know, grab that brass ring. But you take all those people and put them onto SmackDown, and suddenly Raw, these guys have no choice but to become megastars or fail. So on SmackDown, you take those guys like John Cena, Randy Orton, Chris Jericho, Big Show. You take those established guys, and then you add to those the returning star power. Now, we've heard a lot about WWE courting 40-plus-year-old guys. They go to SmackDown. Guys like Kurt Angle, Tajiri, Goldberg, if this is when he's coming back, Kevin Nash, Shelton Benjamin, Carlito, John Morrison. These guys, they go to SmackDown and use that huge boost, all of these returns, this big nostalgic rush of, hooray, it's you! You use that and SmackDown becomes must-see TV. But Adam, the only true king of WhatCulture, we want to see these indie guys battle it out with the legends. Well, I say, that's what Big Four pay-per-views are for, idiot. Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, SummerSlam, WrestleMania, those are the times when you see matchups that you can't see any other time of the year. That's what makes them special. So, we got Raw, we got the new generation, and on SmackDown we have established megastars. Now that is quite shallow. You can't just have indie matches every week and nostalgia matches every week. You need depth and you need structure. So that's when you add kind of the subplot. You split some performers down the middle and you have exclusive divisions on each brand. On Raw, you know, on theme with the whole new generation thing, you have the women's division. They don't split across Raw and SmackDown. You see, the women's division is so fragile right now. Not them physically, obviously. They can punch my head right down through my bottom. No, but the makeup of it is just becoming legitimate, and it needs that variety and the depth and the structure that it currently has. What you cannot afford to do is split the women's roster in its own state right down the middle. There just aren't enough great workers in that bunch. You need to preserve them and build what is shaping up really quite nicely. So you keep all of that on Raw. The women's champion, there's only one women's champion, and that stays on Raw. On SmackDown, you got a lot of older, established guys. What you need are the young lions, the cruiserweight division. Now we've got the CWC, and what more perfect feeding system can you ask? You take all the guys that people fall in love with over the Cruiserweight Classic, and under the tutelage of legends like Neville and Tajiri, you build a cruiserweight division. So you have these young guys who are very storied in their own right, but you know, they are being taught by utter legends. Can you imagine Zack Sabre Jr. being coached every week by Kurt Angle? Be amazing. Of course, you'll need contemporary stars as well to sort of bridge the divide between the older and the very young. That can't be quite so stark, so you throw in guys like AJ Styles, Rusev, Del Rio. And so hopefully what you end up with are two brands that offer very different things to different audiences. SmackDown maybe caters more towards the casual fans, Raw maybe towards the hardcore, but hopefully both should appeal to everyone in different ways. But wait, Adam, you big dick gentleman, what about Roman Reigns? Oh, we'll get to him. So now, moving on, the championships. Oh God, there's so much admin. Why are you making me do the brand split? So starting off, I would have the WWE Championship on Raw and the World Heavyweight Championship on SmackDown. I know, like, we've only just had it solidified in the last few years. But hey, I really kind of want to keep the brands separate. Okay, one champion going back and forth, especially with 2 pay-per-views a month, it won't work. The stories will be really, really bad. So you have to have 2 champions. That's just a practical. I can't book out of what they're doing. They are doing 2 pay-per-views a month. So there's only one title left, the Tag Team Championships, and I would have that float between brands. I would have it so that the champions could defend them on Raw and SmackDown, because too many champions is a bad thing, but both shows need a tag team division. And I actually think that having just one tag team belt between both brands, that really legitimizes the tag team belts. So I would have that championship float. So WWE Championship, World Heavyweight Championship. On Raw, I'd also have the IC title and of course, the Women's Championship. And on SmackDown, the US title and soon, the Cruiserweight Championship. Because the last Cruiserweight champion can't be Hornswoggle. That can't be a thing that history preserves. Right, final bit of admin. Who's heading up each show? Shane on Raw, Steph on SmackDown. So on Raw, the first main picks are Dean, Seth, the Wyatts, Cesaro, Finn Balor, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and of course the women's division, but namely Charlotte, Sasha, Becky Lynch, and of course, shock, Bayley. On SmackDown, the first major picks are John Cena, AJ Styles, Randy Orton, Rusev, The New Day, American Alpha. So that's everything in place. That is the information half of this project done, but how would it actually happen beat by beat? What about Roman Reigns, and what about the SummerSlam card? Join us for part 2 of how WWE should book the brand split. I've been Adam from WhatCulture.com. and I'll see you very soon.